What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have my Buffalo Bills season preview for y'all, so let's get into it. So last year they finished with a 13-3 record, which was good enough for first place in the AFC East division. They did go on to lose in the divisional round to Cincinnati 27-10, so it was a bit of a letdown. The Bills still haven't made a Super Bowl with Josh Allen at quarterback, so it'll be interesting to see how far they make it this year. So I don't know if there's going to be pressure on Josh Allen to make the Super Bowl this year because a lot of young, good quarterbacks in the NFL have made it to that point. Patrick Mahomes is one of few. Joe Burrow has made it. Jalen Hurts has made it, just to name a few. And Josh Allen is still on the outside looking into that group. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how Buffalo approaches this season and how well they do. They did good in the offseason, in my opinion. They brought in a lot of good veteran guys to help bolster this roster even more, even though they're already one of the top premier teams in the league. They brought in guys like offensive guard Connor McGovern. They brought in running back Damian Harris, safety Taylor Rapp, running back Latavius Murray, defensive end Poona Ford, defensive end Leonard Floyd, cornerback Cameron Dantzler. So they brought in a lot of guys to help this team compete and take that next step and finally reach a Super Bowl with this loaded roster. And they didn't lose too many solid key role players. They did lose wide receiver Jamison Crowder, linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, who was kind of a hit to that defense, losing a guy like that. They lost running back Devin Singletary, wide receiver Cole Beasley, quarterback Case Keenum, who was Josh Allen's backup, and wide receiver Isaiah McKenzie. So they lost a lot of their depth players, a lot of the guys that have been there for a few years. But they did bring in guys to replace those guys and still make this team competitive moving forward. And the fact that they had no major coaching changes, no new head coach, no new offensive, no new defensive coordinators is a huge step because now they don't have to learn a new scheme to get back to where they need to be. The chemistry should already be there amongst all those guys. And they did a good job of re-signing the free agents that they already had on their roster. Linebacker Matt Milano, they brought back punter Sam Martin, kicker Tyler Bass. So the special teams core of Martin and Bass, they're staying put. Safety Jordan Poyer, one of the leaders on that defense, he's staying there. Linebacker AJ Klein, defensive end Shaq Lawson, defensive tackle Ed Oliver. So a lot of their veteran guys that make a difference on their team are staying put. So this team is returning a lot of veterans, returning a lot of players, moving on to their rookie class. And I don't think a lot of these guys are really going to contribute right away, but I do think they're really good depth pieces and players that can make a difference for this team if given ample playing time. Like tight end Dalton Kincaid, who they drafted with their first round pick. Offensive guard Osiris Torrance, probably not going to start right away, but at the same time, if he gets thrown in there, I don't think he will be a bad replacement or depth guy to have. Linebacker Dorian Williams, wide receiver Justin Shorter, offensive guard Nick Broker, cornerback Alex Austin. A lot of guys that I don't think are going to make a huge impact on this team, but they don't need to because all the pieces are already in place for this. Anyway, now that we got all their additions and departures out of the way, let's move on to their schedule and my record prediction for the Buffalo Bills this season. So, starting off, they got a divisional matchup week 1 against the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers' New York Jets debut will go against the Buffalo Bills. And I'm sorry, Jets fans, but it's going to be an L for y'all. The Bills, they're going to get this week 1 win against the Jets. I just, Aaron Rodgers' first game, first regular season game in a Jets uniform is coming against the Bills, one of the toughest teams in the league. For the Jets to pull this out, I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibilities, but I just think Buffalo's a better team. They're going to get the job done in week 1. Week 2, they got the Raiders, which I think that's going to just be win number 2. Then they got Washington in week 3, another win. So starting out the season very hot, 3-0. And then in week 4, they got the Miami Dolphins at home. So I think the Dolphins are going to be a really good team. And this is tough. Because this is at home, I will give the Bills the win. But I think the Dolphins are the only real team in this division that'll give Buffalo a run for its money. So I'll change this week 18 matchup down here against the Dolphins to an L, as they'll split that series. But then in week 5, they travel to London to play the Jaguars. And I have high hopes for the Jaguars this year. And because it's in London, there's a whole change of scenery. I do think the Bills are a better team than the Jaguars, but just because of everything going on, I feel like this isn't necessarily a trap game for the Bills because they're both really good teams. But I could see the Bills losing their first game of the year in week 5 in London to the Jaguars. But once they get back to the States, they play the New York, their in-state rival, even though I'm pretty sure they play in New Jersey, but that's besides the point. They play the Giants and they rebound nicely with a win. But I bet this game is a pretty good game because the Giants are a good team. And then we go back up here to week 7 against the New England Patriots. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if the Patriots finish last in their division. Miami, solid team. Buffalo, really solid team. The Jets have the potential to be a really good team with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. And then there's the Patriots who have Mac Jones. So worst quarterback in the division. It, like I said, it just wouldn't surprise me in the least. So Buffalo gets the win right here in week 7. Then they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which regardless of who their quarterback is, whether it's Mayfield or Trask, the Bills get the W. And then right here in week 9, they have the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, a rematch of the AFC divisional round. And believe it or not, I think the Bills drop this one to the Bengals. If it was in Buffalo, I'd maybe give the Bills the benefit of the doubt, but I do think the Bengals, if Joe Burrow's healthy, this will be a really good game, and I think the Bills will just fall just short. But it's okay because they rebound nicely with a win over the Broncos and a win over the Jets in week 11, which brings them to the Eagles in Philadelphia. So not only do they have the NFC champions, but they have them in Philadelphia. So this game is in hostile territory, and the Bills lose this one. And that brings them to their bye week. And at their bye week, they are sitting at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a 9-3 record at their bye week. So everything's going swimmingly for the Bills. There's no need to worry. And then coming out of their bye week, they have the Kansas City Chiefs also on the road. So their 3 hardest games this year, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Eagles, they all have them on the road. So that's just a stroke of unfortunate luck for them. But because they're coming out of the bye week, because they had a little bit of extra rest, I think the Bills can beat the Chiefs. I think the Bills can beat anybody on any given week, but for the sake, I'm not having any team win them all or lose them all in my season preview videos. So I do think they will beat the Chiefs. And then they have the Cowboys in week 15. And I think Buffalo's just a better team all around the ball than them. They got the quarterback advantage. So I think they come out playing good football after their bye week, win 2 straight. And then they got the Chargers on the road, which is another one of these games where if they're not on it, they could very well lose this game. I'd say Buffalo wins. And then they have the Patriots in week 17, which I'll give them the win there. And they finished this year with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 wins again. So I'll write that right here. 13 wins and 4 losses. So they match their win total of last year with 13, but they lose 4 games instead of 3 because they had the Hamlin injury cancellation game last year. But I think this is definitely in the realm of possibilities for them. They do have a lot of tough teams to play, and that's what you get when you finish first place. You got a first place schedule, so you got to play everybody else that finished in first. But I still think they'll win the division again, make a statement in the regular season. Whether or not they go to the Super Bowl in Josh Allen's, what is this, 5th, 6th year, something like that, I definitely think they need to prove that they can make it there. All the other quarterbacks have done it, but I think this is a respectable record for them, 13-4. They could probably go better than this. They could probably go worse than this. So anywhere between 11 and 15 wins, I think, is a good ballpark for the Bills for this upcoming season. But let me know what you guys think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, I'll catch you with another season preview. God bless.